39. Welcome to lecture 39. We are going to explain the developments in AF steel making technologies. So let me tell you in the form of flowchart. That is, main aim of developments took place with the aim to increase the production capacity per annum. If you change the furnace design, what will happen? If you adapt another kind of processing, bottom stirring process, if you use other than electrical energy such as chemical energy, and what else the charge materials can be changed. This is how the developments are designed step by step. Coming to the furnace design, instead of low power transformer, if you use high power transformer, can you get higher capacity? Yes. Shell design, with respect to the shell thickness, shell dimensions, if you change, will it affect on the capacity? And instead of using AC electric arc furnace, if you use DC, will you get the quality of steel? Similarly, coming to the process, if you adapt bottom stirring process with inert gases, if you adapt, can you get the homogenized composition? And if you adapt foaming slag, if foaming slag is allowed to form, will it protect the electrode and will it protect from the reoxidation from the atmosphere? And another process, scrap preheating, instead of using the steel as it is, if you preheat the particular, if you preheat the steel scrap, maybe temperature around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius temperature changes, is it advantages such as moisture get removed and energy consumption will be reduced and tap to tap time will be reduced? Is it having that particular advantage? Think about this. And chemical energies, alternatively, if you wait for few more hours, allow it for the oxidation reactions, and post combustion injecting the carbon, injecting the oxygen from the side tiers, so can you get further carbon reduced? And oxy fuel burners, if you use instead of electrical energy, you can achieve the temperature within less of time. Carbon injection, this is oxygen injection. If you adapt this thing, will you compensate the electrical energy? Similarly, charge material, not only hot metal, liquid form of pig iron, not only using this thing, can you use combination of sponge iron, steel scrap, so all those things, is it advantageous if you use these things? All these particular furnace design, process, chemical energy, charge materials, raw materials affect the capacity, production capacity per annum. So obviously, if you follow all these things, it gives an idea that it increases the production capacity. Now coming to the one particular part, furnace design wing, if you use transformer, what is the main aim of transformer? Fastening the melting of solid charge, thereby decreasing the tap to tap time. If you use lower power electric arc furnace, it will give the energy power in terms of energy, in terms of power, 100 to 200. If it is medium, 200 to 400. If it is high, 400 to 700. If it is ultra high, 700 to 1000. In nowadays, for 100 ton capacity furnace, we require 70 million watts amperes for 100 tons. That means in modern days we are using ultra high power for electric arc furnaces. And coming to the electrode, what is the main objective of electrode? The electrode consumption should be less. So how do you reduce? If tap to tap time is shorter, electrode consumption is made sure reduced. And if you use auxiliary fuels instead of electrical energy arc generation, it will be electrode consumption will be saved. And water cooling, if water cooling is provided for the electrodes continuously, electrode consumption can be reduced. These are the few developments with respect to the electrode. The former one is with respect to the furnace design transformers. If DC electric arc furnace is used, lower electrical consumption, electrode consumption will be lowered, and arc power is directed to the melt or solid charge, and electrode is relatively cooler when you compare with the AC power based furnace. Noise will be low and the arc stability is more when you compare with AC furnace process. And coming to the other parts design, earth of the electric arc furnace, the earth part of the electric arc furnace, walls of the electric arc furnace, roof of the electric arc furnace, how does it affects? If you need, mainly everything is refractory lined. If you need longer refractory lining to be achieved and lower time of repair, so how do you need to protect all these things? Few developments, water cooling for the side wall as well as the roof is provided. That is another development point. The other thing is earth volume. If we increase, there will not be much splashing of molten metal if you increase the volume. And split shell design, you can split half of the part acidic lining, half of the part basic lining. You can use, that is the one of the reason that you can use electric arc furnace for refining. It can also be called as a secondary steel making process. It is also called as a primary and secondary steel making. Secondary steel making is further refining. Primary steel making is only just refining process. Two things will happen in terms of electric arc furnace. That is, and you can also split the designs with respect to the wall, roof and bottom of this particular furnace earth. You can design refractory lining different for earth part, side wall and roof. You can split the sections in such a way, and eccentric bottom, and you can centerize and you can tilt here too for taking out the molten metal, and the top portion will be slag. It can be taken from the other side. You can maintain the eccentric. The eccentric bottom design is also one of the development took place in the modern days. Process, coming to the process, bottom steering process, direct contact to the molten metal using inert gas, either argon or nitrogen, direct contact, so that you will be getting the homogenized composition and temperature constant. Indirect, better instead of extending this particular refractory lined plug till the molten metal, till the atmosphere, it is stopped in between molten metal. So it is nothing but indirect contact. What are the main advantages if you use this kind of steering process is adapted in the case of electric arc furnace? It can eliminate the temperature gradient changes, higher to lower temperature fluctuations, concentration, composition fluctuations. The chromium is higher and nickel is lower if you want to produce the stainless steel. So those particular changes will occur. So that can be protected by this bottom steering process. Tap to tap time, instead of 40 minutes, it can be reduced to the 20 minutes one heat, so that the production capacity could increase. Refractory lining life, electrode power consumption, obviously all together will reduce, and improves the yield, iron content in the molten metal produced from the EAF steel, and alloy content, high alloy steels. If you want to produce, you can produce the high alloy steel. And dissolution of the large spaces, lump size, variation of the sizes also you can melt together. And another practice is foamy slag practice. Foamy slag practice, main objective of this particular thing is effective utilization of heat. If you allow the foam slag formed above the slag, usual slag, so the advantages are heat transfer to the bath is enhanced. So how that particular foam slag is formed? Mainly The FeO is slag. The carbon in the molten metal reacts and forms iron and a CO. This particular CO bubbles forms in the slag. Similarly, C plus O in the molten metal reacts against CO bubbles. Chromium in the case of stainless steel making, CO bubbles forms. These particular bubbles are embedded within the slag, that is pushed to the top of the slag layer, that is foamy slag, combination of liquid and gas. That particular slag is foamy slag. The advantages of allowing to form foamy slag practice is heat transfer will be there will be very less heat loss. Heat transfer from the slag to molten metal is higher, and it protects the atmosphere, reoxidation from the atmosphere from this hot metal, and arc, exposure of arc to the lining, it protect this particular foamy slag layer will be formed in three-dimensionally, not only above the slag layer from the top direction, entire furnace it forms even at the surrounding of the wall also, so that arc will be produced, flushing during the reactions, chemical reactions, the lining will be produced if foamy slag practice is produced. And the effective parameter, slag viscosity, what is the slag viscosity, and if it is lower you can form the allowed form foamy slag. Slag temperature, and if it is a very high temperature you cannot form the foamy slag, and FeO content in the slag allows to form CO bubbles. Now the carbon reacts with this particular, let me restart. The affecting factors to form the foamy slag, one is slag viscosity should be low, slag temperature should be low, and there should be carbon in the molten metal is higher, so that it reacts with the FeO in the slag. Similarly, FeO of the slag will react with this carbon and gives CO gas bubbles. The other part of this developments is preheating of scrap. If you preheat the scrap, there are different processes. Conventional scrap bucket, this is a scrap bucket, charging bucket. You keep steel scrap there, you heat it so that you will reduce the moisture, and it will be also having the some amount of temperature. It is helpful. And the other method is shaft. Above the electric arc furnace, you maintain the shaft, and which consists of scrap allowed to the heat and fall onto the electric arc furnace. And conveyor type, connecting car type, continuously it is been closed, allowed to the gases which are evolved in the electric arc furnace, it is recircled, so that this scrap will be preheated and sent to the electric arc furnace, that is Consteel scrap preheating system. And preheating of, by preheating, if you achieve the temperature 150, that means you are going to save around 23 kilowatts hour per ton, and if it is 540, 97, this much energy you are going to save. The some of the advantages is energy consumption is reduced, overall energy consumption by doing preheating, and moisture is removed, and electrode consumption is reduced, refractory lining is saved, and tap to time is reduced further time. This is advantages of preheating scrap. EF Steel Technologies in a nutshell with respect to the electric energy consumption, with respect to the electrode consumption. And as the years are passing, 1965 to 2005, how the changes took place. Now let me take with respect to the tap to time. In 1965, the tap to time was 180 minutes, means 3 hours, one tap to another tap. When it was coming to the around 2005 or 2040 minutes, tap to tap time is reduced to 40 minutes, 180 to 40. Now coming to the electrode consumption, value. This particular line is corresponding to electrode consumption. It was around 6 kg was reduced in 1965 after one heat, and when it is coming to the 2000, 1.2 kg only consumed the electrode, and coming to the energy consumption, electric energy consumption in 1965, it is 630 kilowatts hour per ton steel. This much energy is consumed. When it is coming to the 2000, 290 only consumed. That means that much in terms of tap to tap time, electrode consumption, energy consumption, this much changes are occurred. This is very good development in terms of electric arc furnace. Because of this, many of the private industries have electric arc furnace to produce the steel. They may use ferroalloys or scrap or hot metal to produce the steel. Many of the private sectors, medium scale sectors uses electric arc furnace to produce steel. This is mainly because of the technology development. There are another things, secondary steel making. Electric arc furnace can also be used for the secondary steel making. It is started in 1965. It was used for only primary steel making. After taking out from the shaft or smelting iron or sponge iron, produced steel. That is only primary steel making route. Around 1977, secondary steel making, you can further refining for example producing the stainless steel, you can add alloying additions, you can further refine, you can reduce the carbon content to very low. So all these things are decarbonation, alloying additions took place within the electric arc furnace. That is why it is also called secondary steel making adaptation is included in the EAF. And around 1977, water cooling of valves was adapted. In 1980 or 1979, high power electric high transformer electric arc furnaces was utilized, and foaming slag was practiced around 1981, and scrap preheating was adapted around 1983. Scrap preheating. DC technology was developed around 1989. Around that particular year, DC technology was developed. So there may be questions on this particular electric arc furnace developments. Draw the electric arc furnace development in flowchart form and explain one by one. It may be the 10 marks question, there may be the Viva questions and gate examination questions with the conceptual point. Please prepare. Now let me conclude this particular lecture. Electric arc furnace steel production technology. The development was main reason to expand the steel making industry into the private sectors. That was the main reason. Do you agree or not? Is it true or false? Please give your opinion. Thank you. Welcome to Making and Treating of Steels course. Today I am going to explain the developments in EAF steel making technologies. So let me tell you in the form of flowchart. That is, main aim of developments took place with the aim to increase the production capacity per annum. If you change the furnace design, what will happen? If you adapt another kind of processing, bottom steering process, if you use other than electrical energy such as chemical energy, and what else the charge materials can be changed. This is how the developments are designed step by step. Coming to the furnace design,